Good morning. All right, today's the day. Sorry, watching the baby. Today's the day. We're gonna make some blueberry biscuits this morning with a little simple glaze on top after they come out of the oven. So first we're gonna do the biscuits, then we'll do the glaze. So here's what you're gonna need. I'm gonna flip the camera around real quick. All right, see if I can do it without getting baby girl's face. We're gonna start with self-rising flour. White lily is the way to go. You want self-rising, heavy cream, and a little salt. That's kind of the vanilla's over here with our butter for the glaze. That's kind of your basic biscuit, and then we're gonna layer in some sugar, brown sugar, and just some frozen blueberries. So here we go. There we are. All right, I'm gonna angle this down a little bit more so you see what I'm doing and not me. All right, here we go. So I like a metal bowl, and I'm gonna start with about 3 cups of white lily self-rising flour. 1, 2. It doesn't have to be perfect because you add more flour as you're needed, and honestly, I don't really always measure my cream anymore. So do your 3 cups of self-rising flour, a little pinch of salt, just helps with the baking. I forgot my wooden spoon. I like my wooden one to use biscuits. And then just kind of stir the salt in a little. And then you're gonna take just heavy cream. Don't have to buy fancy kind, any will do. And start pouring some in. I would say for 3 cups of flour, you probably end up using about 2 cups of heavy cream just to get your dough right. So let's keep going. Comes together quick once it's done. The main thing with the biscuits is not necessarily the recipe or making it. It's in kind of how you roll and fold. That gets you your good layers and all that. And if you're using just like a pint of heavy cream, just reserve a tiny bit. You can just pour some out in a little dish because we're gonna brush a little bit on top. It helps them brown before they bake. All right, so you can see kind of now it's a loose, sticky dough. Take my rings off because I always forget. All right, and I'm gonna dust my seal pack. If you don't have one, it's fine. Wipe your counter off and use it. Just kind of helps clean up. And I'm going to put some flour out there and scrape our way up. And as you can tell when you look, it's sticky right now, but that's kind of what we want. And then we're going to sprinkle a little more flour on top, and we're just going to kind of knead it. And what you want, the goal here is to get it to where it absorbs the flour it needs to, and it's not sticking. So you can see now that I can push it, see where it's sticking a little. Just sprinkle a little more. Not a lot, just a little sprinkle. Put some more down on the counter as you need to. And what you'll end up with is a nice, smooth, you can look at it, it's nice and smooth and soft, your dough. Now, here comes the fun part. This is where hi baby, this is where the method kind of comes in. So, if you want them big and fluffy and to kind of tear apart in the middle, you've got to fold the layers into it. So I like a marble rolling pin. It's got the weight I like. And you're just going to roll it out until you kind of get somewhat of a large square circle. All right, and then you're going to fold 1/3 in, 1/3 in, 1/3 in, and 1/3 in. You have a nice little pocket of folds. We're gonna do this again. We'll roll it. See how it's sticking to my pen. I'll need to toss a little bit more flour on there when I do it. Now this time, before we do all that, I'm gonna take and I'm gonna sprinkle some brown sugar. And a little white sugar, not a whole lot. And then, I usually only do this twice, but for the blueberries, to get a little bit more of the sugary layers in before I hold the blueberries, I like to do this one more time. So, 1/3 in, 1/3 in, make yourself a little log, 1/3, and 1/3. And now we're gonna roll it out flat one more time. Remember when I said I needed to add a little flour? Oopsie. All right, so let's roll out a big old rectangle again. And you just, like I said, the shape on this part is not important. I cannot, for the life of me, roll a good shape out of anything. It's just kind of the spread. All right, and now brown sugar. I'm allergic to cinnamon. If you like cinnamon, you could do this and do, you know, apples or whatever. But since we can't do cinnamon around here, we like blueberry stuff, or strawberries would be delicious too. Thought I had some fresh strawberries, but they went bad before I could use them. All right, now for this, you want to use frozen blueberries because they're not going to smush automatically. Ooh, I look like I've been baking. They're not going to smush automatically when you start rolling them for the last thing in the cut. So, you're just going to take a handful of frozen blueberries, like that, and sprinkle a little bit of flour. Do it over your sink, just so, let me show you. It just kind of gives them a little bit of a flour coat so they'll stick in. All right. Ooh, my mess over there. Now that you've got this, you're gonna take these and you're going to press them in. Looks like I'm going to add a few more. I would say if you want to measure, maybe a cup or so of the blueberries. That looks good. So now we've got those all pressed in, and we're gonna do our foldy fold one last time, and then we'll start cutting. So there's one. Hi, baby. Are you talking? Baby girl saying hello this morning. Oops, I didn't tuck those. And if they come out, just tuck them back in. Gonna make her. I know. You excited? And just kind of pat it out. All right, so now we're gonna, I like to smush with my hands a little bit with the blueberries in them. So now we're gonna roll. Uh-huh. Yeah? I hear you, baby. I'm gonna roll them out one last time. Now, if you do not have a biscuit cutter, make square biscuits. If you want to make big biscuits, make big biscuits. If you want to use a Christmas morning cookie cutter and do Christmas trees, go for it. So, this morning, we are going to do circles. And then the thing about this is once you fold it again, like for your remnants, the dough gets a little purple and not as pretty. So you want to try to get as many circles as you can from this first cut. So there's 1, 2, and if you don't need this many biscuits, cut everything in half. I said, this is just kind of, yeah, this is just kind of what works for us. And we like to have leftovers, and our little foster baby girl absolutely loves biscuits. And now my 9-year-old, he won't eat Grands or anything anymore after he figured out Mama can make biscuits. So if you have kids, be prepared. They're that good and they're that easy. While we're mom cutting, I've got my oven preheated to 450. You want to kind of cook these hot and fast. They'll only take 10 or 12 minutes, but the high heat. Yeah? What else? You telling them? The high heat helps them rise and get nice and fluffy. So, let me grab my pan and parchment, and I'll be right back. All right, here we go. I just have a regular, nothing special. Mine are giant because when I make cookies. I know. You say good morning. Just gonna take your biscuits and pop them on over here. Not touching, they don't have to be super apart. They don't go out so much, they go up a lot because of all the layers we've built in. So just kind of stack them on there. Yeah, good morning. Well, good morning. All right, and now we're about to get into the second cut where the blueberries start smashing. This is why I say you want to use frozen instead of fresh, because they start to look not as pretty. Still delicious, but you know, these are more your snackers. All right, so like that, and we got with my small biscuit cutter, this got us about 20 biscuits, so it's a lot. And then you can have it over or walk some over to a neighbor. I just stepped on a blueberry. All right, hang on just a second. All right, we're back. So I have just a tiny bit, like a tablespoon of heavy cream. We're just gonna brush these on top real quick before they go in the oven. I know. Now, if you were doing just the regular biscuits, you would really only have to do the thirds process twice. And you just wouldn't fold in the cinnamon, sugar, and blueberries. And then for regular biscuits, when you do this, I know. I like to sprinkle a little salt on top. These, because they are getting such, they'll get a glaze made with like a tablespoon of melted butter. She wants some so bad. A cup of confectioner's sugar, a little vanilla, pinch of salt, and a tablespoon or two of milk, or half and half. But we will make that in a minute. So I've got them all brushed. She's singing for you this morning. All right, so they're all brushed. We're gonna pop them in the oven. It's at 450, and we're gonna check on them in like 10, 11 minutes and see what they look like. So here we go. Be back. All right, friends, sounds like our ovens, or looks like our ovens. Looks like our biscuits are about ready to get out of the oven. So I'm gonna grab them real quick, and then we'll mix up our glaze and pour it on, and you're ready for breakfast. So here we go. Here are our biscuits. As you can see, these over here, the ones were our second cut, where the blueberries tend to mush and mash and add more moisture into it. These are more the first cut. So when you add the blueberries, you never really know for sure. They're not gonna be your perfect brown, just regular biscuits, because when the blueberries open and the moisture, science guys, science. All right, so got about a cup of powdered sugar, tablespoon melted butter, a little splash of vanilla. I usually just do this kind of in a measuring cup, And that way you can pour it on, brush it on, whatever you prefer. And then a tiny pinch of salt, because salt helps bring out the flavors you want in your sweets. And then he's over here dancing around. And then just a little bit of milk, half and half, whatever. This is just gonna kind of loosen it up. I still have a little extra heavy cream in my dish, so I'm gonna hold that right there. And you don't have to look at my ugly face anymore. All right, so we're just kind of stirring this around. See how quickly it doesn't take a lot of less liquid to get this powdered sugar. Powder's twerking over there. Baby's crawling at me. Hello. And obviously the heat of the biscuits is going to, gonna help spread things out. So then you can drizzle, you can pour, you can brush, whatever you want. I tend to use a brush, so we're gonna sit that right there. Grab my brush and just cover.
Hey Mom, the baby's crawling to you.
The baby's crawling to me. And then just tippy tippy tappy tappy. Get your biscuits nice and happy. Oh, Ryan, didn't it, Abby? I didn't mean for it to.
But you should be a poet.
Maybe I am, and you just don't know it. Boom. Yes, baby. All right. One more thing. Question why I used in the biscuit dough. Heavy cream. I know to a lot of people that's like a no-no for some reason, but most of the time when you go out and you eat biscuits and you get them, they are made with, a lard or a hard vegetable shortening or something along that line. A lot of butter, you've got to have fats in there to make them rise and bake how they're supposed to. I like using heavy cream just because you know what it is and where it is, and you only have to have 2 ingredients on hand at all times to make breakfast in no time, and the cost is minimal. So for, maybe the cost of a can of biscuits, you can make several batches of homemade. So hope you enjoy. And see what all your layering thirds work will do. Look, they just pull apart and they're flaky and fluffy and beautiful.
Yes.
And it tastes really good. Have a good day.